We are coming to you from the city beautiful Chicago, Illinois, where tonight WGN Sports presents White Sox baseball as Paul Konerko, Adam Dunn, Chris Sale and the Sox as they get set to butt heads with Billy Butler and the tough Kansas City Royals. Hi, everybody, and welcome. I'm Ken Harrelson. My partner Steve Stone is still under the weather, and sitting in for him for the third consecutive day is former Sox outfielder Mike Huff. And, Mike, last night we saw a good ball game as far as pitching goes. Dergal was good. Quintana was good. We lost it 5-1. But tonight, Chris Sale on the bump.
We've got the man on the bump that you need. You got to have that ace. Chris Sale has been that for the White Sox. This year, 2 great outings against Kansas City. Working a slider here, working a fastball. Home and away, he has pitched very well. Our hard luck pitcher of the year, but he's the guy you want to have after you lose a game, especially a tough one. But now Chris has had some trouble with a couple guys from Kansas City's lineup. Escobar, Perez, especially Billy Butler. As you talked about, Billy is their anchor and 3 home runs against Chris. Pretty impressive.
Well, Billy Butler is one of the best clutch hitters in the American League. In fact, he's in the top 5 in probably hitting good pitchers as well as anybody. But Eric Hosmer has been good for them in the clutch lately.
Well, you said exactly right. Lately, he has been incredible in the clutch. Month of July, he has just been on fire. He's been swinging a bat. Great promise for this young man. A great glove. That was a deep home run. 1 of 2 against Baltimore recently. But as you look at his numbers, not only has he been good in July, really good against lefties, something every manager loves to see. 7th inning or later, almost hitting 400. Gotta love that.
All right, it'll be Chris Sale against Wade Davis. So sit back, relax, and strap it down. White Sox baseball coming your way. Fans can go online and bid for any or all of 7 great fan experiences while you're watching our Sox and these Kansas City Royals. But right now, WGN's Pat Tomasulo. Patrick is here to explain all the ins and outs of tonight's auction.
Thanks, Hawk. It's one of our favorite telecasts of the year here at WGN, the in-game auction. Why is it an in-game auction? Because we want to give you a real in-game experience. It's all going to benefit White Sox charity. Here's some great prizes for you, Nick. A lot of behind-the-scenes prizes, a lot of autographs, a lot of trips to spring training. You get to work with the sod father, winning ugly, meeting players from the '83 team. I'll be with you in between innings, updating you on all the different prizes. So get your credit cards ready, and please bid WhiteSox.com/ultimate-bid.
He has got it down. Thanks, Pat. And we'll be back with lineups and tonight's first pitch after this break.
Live Sports. Tonight's game is available in Spanish on your SAP audio setting, provided by 97.5 FM ESPN Deportes, Chicago's first and only FM Spanish language sports radio station. And as the Sox take the field, we'll show you the Royals lineup. Top of the order, Gordon, Hosmer, Butler. Middle of the order, Perez, Kane, and Lowe. Great game last night. And then ending with Tejada, Escobar, and Getz. White Sox defense brought to you by Toyota. Let's go places. Viciedo, Diaz, and Rios left to center. Keppinger at third tonight. Ramirez, Beckham at second. Adam Dunn at first. And the battery of Chris Sale and Josh Fig. Chris's numbers, as you see, 6 and 9. Not what he wanted, but 2.81. Incredible ERA. 5th in the league. 18 starts, 2 complete games. Great all-star appearance. Picking up the win for the American Leaguers. Tonight's umps. Home plate, Manny Gonzalez. At first, Tony Randazzo. Second base, Larry Vanover. And at third, crew chief, Brian Gorman. Josh throws it down. Turn it to the man in the booth. Ken Hawk Harrelson, and former teammate of mine, manager for your White Sox, Robin Ventura.
All right, thank you very much, Mike. And once again, good evening, everyone, and welcome to White Sox baseball right here over WGN Sports. So happy you could join us for game 2 of this 3-game set. And this is the 9th game of this 10-game homestand. Finale tomorrow afternoon. And then it's on the road again, 4 in Cleveland and 3 in Detroit. But right here, left fielder Alex Gordon gets set to lead it off against our 24-year-old southpaw. Chris Sale, 6'6", 185 pounds. And the first pitch of the ball game. Taken for a strike. Gordon comes in hitting at .273 with 9 homers and 51 driven in from that leadoff hole. That's a lot of RBIs for our leadoff hitter. There's a chopper, and it's fair. And it's out number 1. So a quick out And fans can now bid on 7 unique items, including autographed memorabilia and VIP experiences like being an official member of the White Sox grounds crew for a day, a trip to spring training, and all proceeds benefit Chicago White Sox charities. So visit whitesox.com/ultimate bid now for a full description of all 7 items and to place your bid. Bidding closes at 8 p.m. tonight, so don't delay. Beck's got to hurry. Can't get him. That'll be an infield single for Hosmer.
Great effort by Gordon there, and Hosmer, after going 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts last night, never leaving the infield. Take a hit any way you can. Gordon come in hard. Good try, couldn't quite barehand it. Just about a step late.
So Hosmer, 7 for 10 in stolen bases, and here is the face of the franchise, Billy Butler. Billy at 281, 9 homers and 51 knocked in. As I mentioned at the top, one of the best in the American League at hitting, good pitching well.
Well, as we showed you before, the only person that really has given Chris trouble in terms of RBIs or home runs.
Well, he's got a great approach. He has had since he's been in this league. He's just 27 years old. He's got, you know, another 10, 12 years with that approach he's got. He takes what pitchers give him, and that's what makes a great hitter.
Well, for those that didn't see it yesterday, great career so far for Billy, but a couple of hits, both were line drives to right field on good pitches. That one nipping the corner, but when you're a guy that can drive a ball, you're a guy that picks up RBIs, and you're a guy that's not afraid on a good pitch, a couple strikes to get a base hit to right, you're going to cause a lot of pitchers trouble.
He can do that. As I said, he's been doing it since he's been in this league. Another strike. So Chris has got the benefit of a couple of pitches off the outside corner there. But we'll take it.
Especially after that base hit. Yeah, I think we're you see the Xfinity pick track there just off the plate. It'll be interesting to see if home plate umpire Manny Gonzalez keeps calling that both ways.
Well, they got to keep throwing it out there. That breaking ball down. So a full count. Yeah, when you get a guy that's keyed in on one area right there, you got to stay out there.
Well, I just harken back to that Brave rotation with Glavine, Smoltz, Maddox. Umpire would give it to him. They'd work another inch out. And if he'd get it to him, they could just live out there for 9 innings.
Payoff pitch. And it's academic. As Butler has walked. Now Robin's going to say Hosmer went off the bag, but Butler walked.
Well, 3-2 here. Chris knows he's gotten some calls on the outside part of the plate. Tries to throw a little backdoor slider. Josh, like a good catcher, comes up. Hosmer, you see, looking, running, thinking it was called. As you see, did not touch the base ever. But Robin is arguing as he went past the base. That, in essence, means he should have been going to third.
Well, no, what the rule is there is once ball 4 is called, he's allowed second base. But now, can he come off of it? That's the story. So whatever, Larry Vanover, good umpire, whatever he told Robin was on the money. And we got some problems here in the top of the first inning with 1 out and 2 on, and here's Salvador Perez. Perez is 8 for 22 lifetime against Chris. 23-year-old catcher comes in hitting at 281, 4 homers and 42 driven in. Takes first pitch strike. Still don't quite understand it. If a man's going to give you a couple inches off the outside corner, and all of a sudden you start coming inside. Okay. One and one to count. And here at the ballpark, 330 down the left field line, 335 down the right field line, 375 in the gaps, and 400 straightaway center. This is the 11th meeting of the year between these two clubs. In the first 10, they have split them. That ball hit into right field. We got a man there. Hosmer will tag. He'll move into third, and that's out number 2.
He called it. Chris must have heard. Umpire's going to give you stuff outside. Let's keep working it. Robin again talking to the coaches. I'm sure from his perspective, probably thought that Hosmer touched the base as he was going by it. And again, Larry Vanover must have explained, no, he's allowed that base only if he touches it and starts toward third can you tag him and he's out.
So here's Lorenzo Cain. He was 2 for 4 last night, 6 for 20 lifetime off Chris with a homer. Cain made a couple of real fine catches last evening, saving some runs. No doubt about that. Breaking ball, did not check it up.
He's probably thinking, oh my goodness. I'm hoping they're all not going to be like that, because it's going to be a long night if they are.
There's a strike and the count 0-2. So runners at the corners, 2 down, 2 strikes. 27-year-old. Boy, he's a good athlete. Lorenzo Cain. Line drive caught by Captain Jess. A hang woof him for Lorenzo. Meanwhile, after a half inning of play, it's Royals nothing, and the good guys coming to bat.
August 26th, you can be the honorary bat boy or bat girl for the game. 4 premium tickets to the game. You get to shout play ball. You get a life-size cardboard cutout of this guy over here, Southpaw, and maybe an in-game visit from him. You will. Maybe some tips as well. Who the heck knows? He knows a lot about the game, don't you, Southpaw? Thank you. Like how to hold the bat. WhiteSox.com/ultimate bid. And
now your Chicago White Sox lineup, brought to you by Toyota. Let's go places. See Viciedo, solid over his last 11 at-bats. And for Kansas City,
One in the count to Alejandro Diaza. Hitting at 276, 1 for 4 last night off the 27-year-old right-hander Wade Davis.
And here's your Kansas City defense. Gordon Kane low, just like last night. Tejada goes from second to third. Escobar gets into the lineup. Hosmer at first, and Davis and Perez is your battery.
2-0 pitch. Just gets. And one out. Before we show you our picks to click, you at home select yours. So that'll bring up Alexei. Alexei comes in hitting .285. 2 for 4 last 8. 3 for 16 lifetime against Wade Davis. Davis, a big man, 6'5", 230 pounds, out of Lake Wales, Florida. As he takes that one at 92 right there. Sox at .250, hitting .250 as a club with a 4.00 ERA. Oh, 2 the count.
Wade Davis, 4-9, was in the bullpen all of last year. Had a great strikeout per 9-inning ratio. When he was shot at the starting lineup this year, starting rotation.
There's a souvenir right side. Well, Kansas City, a very fine 3.73 team ERA. Their pitching is good. It's just been their offense. Question of not being able to score. And he gets him. So 2 down. And you can place your bids now for the Ultimate Kids Experience package. Included is an honorary Bat Boy, Bat Girl experience, announcing the opening of the gates to the ballpark, a special in-seat visit from Southpaw, shouting "Play ball" before the start of the game, and much more. So visit whitesox.com/ultimate bid now for a full description of all 7 items and to place your bid. Bidding ends at 8 p.m., so don't delay. Alex Rios takes upstairs. He was 0 for 4 last night. Alex, last few days in a bit of a funk. Hitting .273, 12 homers, 49. Takes that strike. Big gap out there in left center if he can find it. Pretty good pitch, didn't get it.
Pretty good pitch, might have been called a ball the way Perez caught it. You hate to hear that, but sometimes these umpires, if the catcher can't catch it, glove up, he's probably thinking it's low.
3-1 with Adam Dunn on deck. And there's a base hit right back through the middle. Boy, Alex. So right now with 1 on 2 out, let's check out our picks to click tonight. Jim Angio, our director and crew, went with Fegley. Mike and Steve, they're going with Gordon Beckham and J.J. Shearer and all the great folks at Ditka's Restaurants. And we're going to go with Tank, Diane Viciedo. Also all the good folks at Lost Dunes. So here's Adam with 213, 24 homers, 61 knocked in. Adam takes ball 1. He has faced Davis 9 times, has a couple of hits. Gets back out there in short right field. There goes Rios. So it's high. He's safe. At a stolen base, number 22.
This just goes to show you how fast Alex is. Not that good of a jump. Fastball away. Perez leaning out, but a high leg kick almost doomed Davis before it ever began. And then Tejada realizing pretty quickly no one covering third. Scooted off and started jogging that way. And now Tejada's got to slide over a little bit further, leaving a little bit bigger hole up the middle now for Adam.
And he's got the catbird seat. It's 3-0. Turn him loose.
Adam fourth in the AL with 24 home runs, leading the White Sox with 61 RBIs. You would think if it's one of the ones he's looking for, go ahead, let him loose.
It's right there in his wheelhouse. He took it.
3-0. You're in the batter's box. What are you looking for? Pitch, location, or both?
I'm looking for a fastball in my spot. Both. Greedy. You can get greedy on 3-0 if you're going to hit. And a full count.
And that one dotting that outside corner. Adam shaking his head, but if he was out in the field watching what home plate umpire Manny Gonzalez was giving Chris Sale, and you can see that one on the Xfinity pitch track did nip that corner. Low outside. Great location.
So here's the payoff. It's the reason you'd like to see him hit 3-0. It's the best pitch he's going to get. Meanwhile, after 1-0 score.
Training package. This one, you go to Arizona, get a $1,000 travel voucher from the Sox. You get a behind-the-scenes tour of their facility, Camelback Ranch out in Arizona. 2 sets of 4 tickets to a game, a meet and greet with Sox players. Hey, if it gets too hot, Robin Ventura will even rub some sunscreen on your shoulders.
No, he won't.
But maybe somebody else will. WhiteSox.com/ultimate bid.
Pat's got that wrong. All right, first pitch to David Lowe, Robin. No, it won't. David, 2 for 3 with a home run last night and a couple of RBIs in the 6-game hitting streak. Sweeper. This young guy does not give up there.
You can see there, 391 over this current 6-game hitting streak. And looked good on his outs yesterday.
Takes a strike and the count 1-2.
And that's probably a little bit different than he's seen even in the major leagues, let alone the minor leagues.
He gone. He knew it.
Not much you can do, whether you're left-handed or right-handed. When a guy dots an outside corner like that,
grab some bench.
Grab some bench, tip your cap, and
That's
say,
it.
maybe next time you put one over the middle that I can put a good pass on.
Well, veteran players know that. Young players, have a tough time accepting it at first, but after a few years, you learn that there's a reason that guy out there is on the All-Star team. There's a reason that he makes a lot of money. He's good.
He's downright good.
So it took me 5 years to learn how to tip my cap to a pitcher and making 3 good pitches like that. I'd go down in that dugout prior to that and start cursing and breaking bats, and helmets. Tejada. Oh, what a player he's been. As he makes the catch, he stays with it. An acrobatic catch by Beckham. Showtime. Do it, Gordon. Mercy.
A little bit more of a breeze up there than Gordon thought. And for all you youngsters, when you start going backwards, that's where you can get in trouble. You like turning your body. He did at the end there. Was able to keep his eyes on it, and that is impressive. It's like a football player rolling on those neck drills on that helmet. Great reach. Keeping the glove in the air at all costs, showing the umpire this thing never hit the ground.
So that's out number 2, and here's Escobar. Well, regardless if he called for it or not, that's where Diaz's got to call him off.
That was my thought as well.
Got to call him off. That's a tough play. That's one hopped over into the Royal dugout by Alcides.
Yep.
Alcides hitting at 241. And he has hit Chris well. He's 12 for 30. Sweeping breaking ball.
And now that is a great strikes to ball ratio. Coop's got to be excited about that.
Right over the top. Nice pick by Adam, and that'll retire the side. That is 5 in a row retired by Chris after an inning and a half, no score.
Times it's nice to harken back to the days of the old Comiskey, and if you bid on this package, you will win a set of green seats from the old Comiskey. I don't know if it'll be this big or this particular set, but you'll get a set, an old brick from the old ballpark, a commemorative ticket, and you get to have a nice meal with the grandson of Bill Veeck, Night Train Veeck. So go to whitesox.com/ultimate bid. Make your bid now.
First pitch to Paul Konerko. High pop up into short left center field. Lorenzo Cain, so 1 pitch, 1 out. And the collector's dream bid on a set of green seats and a brick from the old ballpark, a commemorative ticket sheet from the first game at the new Comiskey Park, and dinner with Bill Veeck's grandson in the Magellan Scout Seats Lounge. Date must be mutual agreed upon in 2013, so visit whitesox.com/ultimate bid now for a full description of all 7 items to place your bid.
Well, those seats are Very special. I remember playing on the 91 team first year of the new Comiskey, now U.S. Cellular, and getting a set of those with my number 12 on them.
First pitch strike to Keppinger.
Very exciting. I remember coming to the games as a young pup and being able to have a little bit of that history was pretty special.
Yeah. Fisted him. And that's going to be trouble. No, it's not. What a play by Escobar. Alcides really has solidified that position for the Royals. He can range it, he can throw it, and he can hit it.
Well, exactly right. I mean, this is just incredible. Not only was he able to get it as it was sneaking up the middle, was able to pivot and throw very accurately to first, giving Hosmer a chance to get Keppinger.
So here's Viciedo. Tank 2 for 3 last night. He's been seeing the ball very well. Now, last 2 games he's had Verlander out there and he's had James Shields out there. That's 2 of the best in the business, and he has had 7 consecutive good at bats. And there's a chopper, 2 hopper. Gets that nice Bolingbrook bounce. That didn't take long. 1, 2, 3, and we're into the 3rd.
Reaching the
Doesn't
top.
it
How are
feel
you guys
good?
doing?
Finally
Good to see you
live,
again.
not on tape.
Hey, let me tell you something. If I were bidding on any prize in this in-game auction, this would be the one. The broadcast experience. Get to have dinner with this guy in Stony before the game in the Suite Lounge, the
Yeah.
Scout Lounge. Let me tell you, I had a meal there tonight. Delicious.
Very good.
Had some rock striped bass, some
Better than
couscous.
those seeds that you were eating earlier.
Yes, very much. And then what else do we have for this price? You get to visit the booth during the game, like I'm doing now.
Mm-hmm.
You also get to attend the post-game press conference.
Stand around, tell some lies.
Yes, Stoney will go out on the town with you for an entire weekend. That's also part of the.
As Robin said, no, he won't.
No, then Hawk will. You'll get to sit down and watch
No,
Hawk's
Hawk won't either.
MLB special with him. Continuous loop. WhiteSox.com/ultimate bid. Again, thank you guys for having me.
Pat, thanks
on here.
as usual, buddy.
A pleasure to see
Great
both
job.
of you.
Pat
Great seeing you
Tomasulo.
again.
How about it?
Chris Getz with a 1-1 count. Chris hitting at 211. Homer 14 knocked in, and he also has hit Chris well. 6 for 20. That's a nice young man. Does a heck of a job.
Just muscling up, humping up a little bit there. Yeah, that morning show, they have a lot of fun.
Yeah.
You can tell.
Yeah, a lot of energy.
Yes.
A lot of energy. And Chris has got him. And 4 fans will enjoy dinner in the Magellan Scout Lounge with Steve and myself, followed by a behind-the-scenes tour of the WGN TV truck. Now that is really interesting there. A visit to our booth and the press box and a chance to sit in on a post-game press conference and more. It's a good one. The date must be mutually agreed upon in 2013. So visit whitesox.com/ultimate-bid. Boy, that will really be a treat for people who've never been inside a television truck. That is absolutely unbelievable, the technology in there.
Just a few monitors everybody has to.
What's that truck, Jim Angio? What's that truck cost? What's it? About $9 million that truck cost.
A little more than I've got right now, but that doesn't surprise me. Oh my gosh, the wires, the technology in there.
Jim's got like 40-something monitors in there. He's got to look at. Of course, our Hall of Fame director, Jim Angio. And there is the strike.
Another good spot by Chris Sale. Alex Gordon, a surprising stat, 11th in the AL, batting .325 against left-handed pitching.
He just ate him up right there. So 2 down.
Great job by Chris. Falling behind early, was able to come back, hit a couple outside corners to get the count even, and then after away, busted him in, broke a bat. 2 down. Eric Hosmer, infield single last time up.
Just a chopper over the head of Chris Sale.
Can't teach that kind of hit. You just can't teach that kind of hit, Mark.
No.
I tried it. I tried hard.
The only guy I've ever seen could do it on a consistent basis was Matty Alou. Brother of Felipe, brother of Jesus. He was really good at it. 2-0. Hosmer. 283, 11, and 45. Another one. And this is the man you want, because the guy on deck, you want to see him either coming to the plate, leading off an inning, or 2 outs, nobody on. Good pitch, another breaking ball. Nice, soft inning right there for Chris Sale, and he has retired the last 8 he has seen.
The Sox grounds crew and work with this guy, the sod father himself. Now is your chance. You bid on this prize, you'll get a chance to drag the infield, change a base during the game, even take home a nice chunk of sod from the field too, right, Roger?
Well, let's make that a small chunk. The sod on the field's pretty special.
Okay, a small chunk of field. And you'll get 4 tickets to the game and parking. whitesox.com/ultimate-bid.
How about getting back to work?
First pitch misses to Gordon Beckham, leading off here in the bottom of the 3rd. Totals on the board identical. No runs, 1 hit, No errors. Gordon hitting at 320, couple homers, 13 knocked in. He squared it up 3 times last night and came up empty. And he's had a tough time against Wade Davis. He's faced him 12 times and he's drawn the collar.
Which just goes to show you he is due.
Yeah, he was never been swinging the bat like he is right now when he faced Davis before.
Well, you talked about him yesterday. One to the Bacardi in the park, deep right center. One almost dead center, 395, both out, and another one.
Well, he had that one barreled up. He just underneath it. So 1 out, and here's your chance to see what it feels like to be, as you just saw Pat and Roger, to be a White Sox groundskeeper for the day. You'll have the opportunity to prep the infield with Roger Bossert before the game, drag the infield, change the base during the game, take home a piece of ballpark side and a commemorative base, and much, much more. The data of this experience also must mutually be agreed upon. So WhiteSox.com/ultimate bid. And the bidding is over at 8 o'clock tonight, so get yours in. Josh Fagley takes first pitch strike.
Rough night last night for Josh. A couple opportunities with some guys on base.
Yeah, but you get those good pitchers out there, Mikey. You know, you face. That's why they're good pitchers. They know how to get their guys out when they're in a jam. They know how to pitch out of the jam. Youngsters sometimes panic out there and they give you a fat cookie. But your James Shields, and Jake Peavy's, these good pitchers. Don't scare them one bit.
When you came up, who was the veteran that you wanted to hang around, kind of pick his brain on opposing pitchers and stuff?
Actually, I enjoyed talking to pitchers more than I did other hitters.
Did you now?
Yeah. I just transposed it, so to speak, and asked them how they would try to pitch to me. Man on third, 1 out. What would you do? And we go through scenarios like that. As he just, no, he didn't. He did not get a piece of it, so that's 2 down. But I was lucky. I had some good guys. You take another look at this. He's got no chance on this one. The curveball down. But I had some good guys to talk to. Rocky Colavito was great to talk to. Then I had Bobby Dorr, who was my hitting coach with the Red Sox, who was fantastic. Alvin Dark. Paul Richards. And Paul knew he couldn't hit himself. Well, he was a good catcher, but he knew what it was about.
Sure.
And almost all those guys said the same thing. They did not teach mechanics as much as they taught approach. Diaza grounded out to Getz. Billy Butler and I were talking about it before the game. That's one reason he really liked Kevin Seitzer. And I do too. I think Kevin Seitzer is a terrific hitting coach. He was there. They let him go. Brought in George and the new hitting coach out of Florida State, Pedro Griefel. But one of the reasons that Butler liked Seitzer so much is Butler was just almost an identical copy of Seitzer, only bigger and stronger.
Sure, sure.
Kevin Seitzer knew how to hit, and he was a good hitter, especially in the 7th, 8th, and 9th innings. There's the strike. There's Pedro. Learned his baseball under Mike Martin out of Tallahassee, Florida State. Great college program.
Incredibly successful.
That's low. Charlie Lau was another guy. Charlie never talked mechanics with me. The only thing he would tell me, he was a third string catcher when I first came up in '63 with us in Kansas City. He would say, this guy's going to try to get you with a slider, so just sit on the slider. And there's ball 4. But there are things, Mike, I don't even know if you experienced this, but there are things. Camilo Pascual was one of the most underrated pitchers, under the radar pitchers in baseball. He was a 20-game winner with bad clubs. He threw about 97, 98 with one of the greatest curveballs in history of the game. Well, I'm a kid. We're going to play them in Minnesota. And Alvin Dark's the manager. He puts me in there. And he's got me hitting cleanup. He's got Calavito hitting third, me hitting fourth, and Jim Gentile hitting fifth. And he looked at me. He says, "You wonder why you're in there today against him?" Because I was platooning. I said, "Yeah." He said, "Because you're a good high fastball hitter. And I want you to go up to that plate, and if he gets 3 curveballs over, don't worry about it. I'll take that strikeout. If he does it the second at bat, I'll take that strikeout." He said, "You just look for that high fastball, and when you get it, you hit it." And it worked. Plus, I had some pretty good protection, front and back.
Yeah, I was going to say, for me, coming up with the Dodgers, didn't spend that much time there, a half year in Cleveland, but coming over here, I was fortunate with Walt Reniak, Carlton Fisk, Charlie Huff. Talking to a pitcher.
Watch out. You mentioned last night, Perez will pick your behind off if you're not on your toes.
Hosmer doing a great job. Again, it's a short throw to first. You don't have to stand up as a catcher. Knowing Diaz is going to get a couple good shuffles off. If the ball's hitting the gap, he's going to be trying to score. Good base running there. Great play by Hosmer. Keeping that ball in the infield. And Ramirez now 2-0.
But the moral of that story with Pascual was he took all the pressure off of him. So if I struck out 3 times, he said, "Don't worry about it." He said, "I'll tell the press those are my strikeouts."
When I got traded over here in '91, Jeff Torborg was pretty much the same way. "Mike, I'm going to put you in these games against these pitchers, these types of situations. Here's all I want from you." For me, most of the time, it was lefties that were throwing a good changeup away, fastballs away, knowing I could just punch it to right and get in 2 or 3 hits.
Yeah. Good eye. Good throw by Perez as far as more towards the base, and they got him. Fortunately, it was wide. So 2 out, back-to-back walks to Piazza, Ramirez, and here comes Rios. He has our 1 hit and also a stolen base.
Good time for the second one of the night. More than likely, a base hit's going to score 1. A gapper probably scoring 2. We talked about Alex picking up his 22nd stolen base of the year. Ramirez with 21, Diaz with 12. Top 3 base stealing threats for the White Sox. Be fun to see a ball in the gap and watch them all run.
Yeah. Takes ball 1.
Here comes pitching coach Dave Island. Right, coming out, saying, "Okay, pitching a great game. Let's get back to throwing strikes." There you see manager Ned Yost. 10th season, managing the big leagues, 4th with the Royals. I'm sure he's got to be as frustrated as Robin. Coming in this year, our pitching staff, their pitching staff, solid. Just waiting for the hitters to kind of come through, and unfortunately, hasn't happened for Kansas City like it hasn't happened for us.
Swung at a pitcher's pitch right there. So the count evens at 1. And now Davis coming right at him. That one at 94. And he's got the advantage now, 1-2.
Well, this is where against Verlander we were able to take advantage of some mistakes. That's a good piece of hit. That ball again right on that outside corner.
Well, you know, we have not had any kind of consistent continuation hitting this year. And against Verlander in that game, we did. Last year, you know, up until the last couple of weeks of the season, we had a lot of continuation hitting. Nice block by Perez. But it's a state of mind. Contagious, like a virus, with a positive and negative.
Well, it doesn't always have to be the long ball, like you said. Where it gets contagious is a base hit, a first and third, and then another first and third, and then a gap where you got guys on second and third. And like you said, everyone starts to loosen up a little bit. Pitcher starts to tighten up a little bit.
That's into right field. That's off the end of the bat. Low is there. So we have a mild 2-out threat. And we're into the 4th scoreless.
We all love the 83 Winning Ugly Sox team, and this prize package is for lovers of that team. We got 4 tickets to a game, premium seats, autographed items from Tony La Russa, Lamar Hoyt, Carlton Fisk. You're even going to get an autographed Greg Luzinski bobblehead. Yeah, it could be Chris Sabo or Wayne Tollison, but you know what? It's Greg Luzinski. We promise it's his signature. WhiteSox.com/ultimate bid.
And there's just over an hour. In fact, there's 61 minutes left in the voting, and this is what the current bids are. Bidding will end at 8 o'clock as there's first pitch strike to Billy Butler, who walked back in the 1st inning. And that's just off the outside corner.
Billy in the middle of a 4-game hitting streak, 7 for 14 over those 4 games. And guarantee, like he did against us, they're all not getting pulled. They're all not trying to get hitting home runs.
We talked about it last night and touched on it earlier. Good hitters take what pitchers give them. But you can help yourself out with what you're trying to do with that guy. This guy's got a terrific approach. 2-2 pitch.
And you talk about the approach, right? That was a nasty backdoor slider starting on the other batter's box, and Billy realizing been called to strike a couple times. This one a little further out. I'm just going to try to hang around, just knock this one foul, and he barely does. But that's a sign of a not just good, but great hitter.
And there's a bullet right back to the middle. So the leadoff man aboard. This is second hit. And the Ultimate Sports Collector's Package. Bid on autographed items from fan favorites from the 1983 winning ugly White Sox team, including Tony La Russa, Lamar Hoyt, Carlton Fisk, Ron Kittle, Greg Luzinski. Also included is a chance to have your photo taken on the field with Harold Baines on a mutually agreed upon date this season in 2013. So visit whitesox.com/ultimate bid.
There's Harold.
Knocked in Julio Cruz.
Remember it like it was yesterday. Yeah. Stepping it, hands in the air, stepping on the plate. That was a fun team to watch.
One and one to count to Perez. He went out fairly deep to right field. Oh, yeah. Can't get him at first. What an effort, though, by both Alexei and Beckham.
Alexei doing a great job of keeping that ball on the infield. Chris just misses it. And Alexei trying to flip it with the glove, knowing the throwing arm was going to take a little bit too long to pull them together. Unfortunately, it dribbled to Gordon, made sure of one, and pretty doggone good throw to first after that. There's Gordon making it a lot closer, and Alexei still a double play.
And here's Kane. He lined out hard to Keppinger at third. Starts him off with a changeup.
And that's what you like seeing if you're a White Sox pitcher. Batters getting up there, shaking their heads. Probably looking for one type of pitch and seeing the others.
And another one. And the count 0-2.
Now it looks like you've got someone really guessing. Maybe not guessing, but early in the count, maybe anticipating, looking at a scouting report, thinking I'm going to anticipate a certain type of pitch, but
chops that one foul. That one at 94.
Now he's just all defensive, which is nice to see for us. Hopefully a sharp one toward one of our guys will get out of this inning.
Finale of this homestand. Tomorrow, make your plans to be with us. Hector Santiago against Cy Chen. If you can't, that game will be over Comcast Sportsnet.
There's Hector. Watching to see how Chris is pitching these guys.
Actually, Hector, tremendous ability. When he throws strikes, he's going to win. When he doesn't, he's going to lose. When a guy's fate is in his own hands like that, you know he's got talent. Change up. He gone. Two down.
Great sequence of pitches. As you look at the Xfinity pitch track, he found the weakness. A couple soft, a couple softer. Really only one fastball in that whole sequence. But good location by Chris. There's a handful of guys out having a good night. Groomsmen, looks like a...
Let's take a look at that strikeout pitch. Look at the grip right here. On his changeup.
It's like one of those circle changes.
That's the easiest one to teach youngsters, the circle change. Big sweeper right there.
Pitch low in a big hole, 0-2. Strikeout in the second inning. Circle change, kids, is just where you make a circle with your thumb and your forefinger, index finger, and you put the baseball, the seams, right between your outer three fingers and throw it just like a fastball.
He gone. And that'll do it. They get the leadoff single by Billy Butler. Goes for nothing.
Trophy in all of sports. You're not going to see the Stanley Cup as a part of this prize package, but we do have some other good Hawks things to give away in our Hawks prize package. First off, you're going to get 4 tickets to a Sox game. You're also going to get 2 tickets to a Hawks game and a chance to ride the Zamboni and an autographed hockey stick from Mr. Stan Mikita. WhiteSox.com/ultimate bid.
Looked about the right size for Patrick, didn't it?
How'd you like to have that kind of energy every day? But we're in the bottom of the 4th. 0-2-0 for them, 0-1-0 for us. And once again, the current totals. Bidding is over at 8 o'clock. That's upstairs to count 2-0.
I'll tell you what, hard to get better than Hawks and White Sox. Getting a chance to see tickets, both teams. We talked a little bit about it. Adam ahead 3-0 now. You think with the green light this time he's going to let it go, or you think he's going to be?
I think he was hitting last time. He just couldn't pull the trigger on 3-0, but not leading off an inning. And there is the leadoff walk. Third walk issued by Wade. Bid on the Ultimate Blackhawks package. Start here at USA Field on September 14th for the opportunity to be on the field during White Sox Blackhawks night. Then travel to the United Center on a mutually agreeable date next season for a Zamboni ride and 2 tickets to the game. Also included as a package is a Stan Mikita old Stosh autographed hockey stick. He's got my money in the golf course. So visit WhiteSox.com/ultimate bid. And here's Paulie. What a player Stan was. Sneaky. He was sneaky. He'd put 20 stitches in your face and nobody'd ever see it.
And a tremendous golfer, like you said. How many times did you guys get out together?
We've been out a few times. I said, he's got my money in his pocket. Paulie chops that one foul, and the count 0-2.
I found besides pitchers, hockey players, best golfers that are non-golfers. Those guys can tallywhack a tee shot.
Yeah, some of the most fun rounds you'll have, guys with JR, Ronick, Pierre LaRouche, Mario. Those guys can play.
And they will get competitive out there.
You better believe it. Softly hit. You got plenty of time. And 2 down. Rack 'em up. And we understand that there's a technical difficulty with the online auction. It's shut down right now, but they are working feverishly to get it back up and running. But you can still visit the website to view the items. As here is Keppinger. Right to Chris Getz. So the leadoff walk goes for naught. And we're into the 5th.
www.wgntv.com and click on the Game Zone banner for updated stats and information. The Game Zone is powered by St. Xavier University. Success with purpose. Log on to www.sxu.edu to check out undergrad and graduate degree options.
We're into the top of the 5th inning. Only 3 hits in this game. No runs, no errors. And here's Tejada. He's 0 for 1. He popped up to Gordon Beckham in an unusual catch, which we'll show you after the pitch. First pitch strike.
In our AT&T U-verse replay, you will see Gordon Beckham. I've got it. It's going a little further, and on his head, behind his back, nothing but leather.
He's a mess. He is.
Sure, that wasn't quite the way he wanted it to go down, but it's an out. And Tejada probably wouldn't want that anyways if that had fallen.
There's a little back door. A good one. And the count 1-2 to this 38-year-old veteran. Made the club in spring training. One of the greatest offensive shortstops in the history of the game. Chops that one foul. Over 150 runs with Baltimore in the season. That was in night. Checked at 2004. 34 homers, 150 RBIs.
Fouls that one off. Was that in Oakland or was that in Baltimore?
Baltimore. Had 40 doubles, 2 triples, 34 homers, 150 RBIs. Came from a very, very poor family. And there's a base hit back through the middle. So the leadoff man aboard.
Ball wasn't hit overly hard. Well placed just out of the reach of Chris Sale. And a veteran at bat, veteran base runner. Now we need Escobar to do the same thing he did last and first time up. Ground ball to second. See if we can turn another double play here.
Adam playing off the bag. Alcides with the attempted bunt, fouls it back, and the count 0-1.
Well, not a bad idea here. When it's a 0-0 game, you're going up against one of the best in the American League in Chris Sale. Leadoff hitter on. Bunt for a hit. If you get it down, worst case is your man's probably at second. Best case, you're at first and second with nobody out. And if you can't get it down fair for a base hit, make it foul like he did. Chris, gentle throw over to first. As Hawk said, only 3 hits tonight. Only one that was struck well. Of course, that was Billy Butler.
That's a little bit low. Tejada 307 home runs, 1,296 RBIs. Great offensive shortstops. There he goes. Picks up the ball, though, as he should. And that's out number 1.
Good job by Alex getting underneath that. Chris getting that first out.
So here is Getz.
Well, like Hawk said, good base runners. With 2 strikes, you know your hitter is going to be swinging probably. Had his eye on it the whole way.
Getz with a bunt. Keppinger with a gun. And that's out number 2.
And Chris, comfortable with this ballpark, having played here before getting traded to Kansas City, knows that these lines can tend to keep that ball fair. Unfortunately for him, good for us, Keppinger was playing on the grass and
looking for it.
Knew he had time, so got himself squared. And good hard throw to first. That's been one of the things about Keppinger I've noticed all year watching him, Hawk. Doesn't have an overly strong arm, but sometimes, or always, it seems like he's able to get the guy by at least a step.
First pitch strike to Alex Gordon. Alex is grounded down to Dunn. And bounced softly back to Chris. Off the end of the bat on the breaking ball. Gordon's got him. And that'll retire the side. So we're halfway home. Still no score. Chevy dealers for the support of local youth baseball leagues. Local Chevy dealers are supporting over 30,000 young ball players in their communities through the Chevy Youth Baseball Program. And since 2010, Chevy dealers have been providing numerous leagues with equipment kits, instructional clinics, and much needed financial support. So from the big leagues to the youth league, Chevy is truly the official vehicle of baseball. Vicieto, Beckham, Fagley, the lower third of our order. Wade Davis, big right-hander's giving up one hit. There's strike one. Tank grounded out to Chris Getz. Very quickly 0-2.
Well, Chris made a nice play. Tank hit that one up the middle. Not quite as hard as he had hoped, but Chris had him played well. Good take right there by Tank. There's Chris, former White Sox second baseman.
Terrific young man. High and deep in the left center field, but not deep enough. He just missed it. Look where Gordon had to go to catch that ball. Evidently, Kane did not pick it up.
Alex Gordon, a tremendous athlete, surprisingly good speed. And again, with the wind blowing out, you saw Gordon Beckham having a little trouble when the ball gets up in the air. This one, you're absolutely right. Kane, no idea where it was. See the flags blowing out to center, and Tank just missed hitting that one out.
Yeah. But here's Gordon. He went out to Kane. Well, Kane was shading Vicieto a little bit over towards right center, but you won't see a left fielder. He caught that ball in front of Jimmy John signing out there. That's a long way to go. And that's into right field. David Lowe. Now we'll send out a big White Sox shot out. Some Sox fans, big Sox fans. Bill and Irene Bellman down in Round Rock, Texas. Always catch White Sox games over WGN. Bill and Irene Bellman.
Beautiful part of the country down there in Round Rock, right outside of Austin.
I've been to Austin, never been to Round Rock.
Some kind of pretty.
That's Johnny Danks and the Danks plant.
Yep.
That's where they're from. Fagley struck out.
Struck out first time up. Big curveball by Davis.
And that's off the glove. Karem's right over with that gun he's got, and they just get him. So that's a 5-6-3. Escobar, one of the big arms at shortstop in the major leagues.
AP audio setting and is provided by 97.5 FM ESPN Deportes, Chicago's first and only FM Spanish language sports radio station. And here's the play in the last half inning ending it. Tejada just getting a glove on it. We've talked about Escobar, and look at this arm. Josh was scooting down that line, but that is a rocket across the infield.
Tony Randazzo. Yeah, he's got one of the biggest arms at that position. He's just a heck of a shortstop. I mean, he's just a heck of a player. They're set there for a while, and they were searching for a long time. As I mentioned, also against us.
Hosmer.
He's a .318 career hitter.
Oh, yeah. It's amazing how many of these guys have 250, 300 batting averages against Chris. And for Hosmer, that's his second hit of the night. Taking that one up the middle. And for the third time in the last 3 innings, lead off with a single and a man on first. You see Chris' first 2 pitches on the Xfinity pitch track. Inside corner. This one gets a little bit more of the plate. Hosmer probably looking inside. Guess right and put a good swing on it.
So here's Butler. A walk and a hard single. And there's that breaking ball. He takes it into right field. So Hosmer will pull up. Alex quickly got to it. And trouble a brewing here in the top of the 6th. First 2 men aboard.
Well, and this is a scene that the White Sox saw, unfortunately, a couple times yesterday. Good pitch, good location, and Butler not afraid to go to right field. Luckily, Hosmer, for whatever reason, didn't really let the stride out, didn't really pick up third base coach.
Well, if you know where your outfielders are, you don't have to.
Yeah, exactly. Especially when the ball's behind you. You need to be able to look wherever they're located. Ball in front of you, it's your read. But if you see them that far behind you, you got to pick up your third base coach. And Chris outside in that first one. Lucky for us, again, Eddie Rodriguez was waving him around, and Hosmer pulled up into second. See Perez 0 for 2. There's Eddie. Good double play candidate right here, and it's what we need.
Change up. Well, talked about Butler being one of the smartest hitters in this league. You got Cabrera, who's probably the smartest hitter in baseball, period. Then you got Mauer, who's a smart hitter. I'll tell you who's getting to be smarter here as he gets older, too, is Beltre. That ball hit hard. We got a man there. The Hosmer will tag. Perez thought that ball was downtown.
Just a little under it. Diaz does a good job of getting behind it and getting it into second base quickly. You see Josh setting up on the inner part of the plate, and that came right back over the middle. Even Chris, mouth open, thinking, I missed my spot. Please don't leave the yard.
He thought it was out of here.
Diaz read it well, put his head down, found his spot, and after the catch, came up firing hard to second to keep Butler at first, so we still have a chance for a double play and get out of the inning unscathed.
Here's Kane. Lined hard to third and struck out. Struck out on some change-ups. Saw 3 in that sweep sequence, and the last one got it. One and 0.
Tried to go back to it, unfortunately a little low.
Tell you who else is a smart hitter in this league is Evan Longoria.
Nice pitch by Chris. Back-to-back change-ups and getting Kane out in front. Longoria, once he gets some extension too with those arms, that ball's going to travel a long way.
He can get you with short arms too. If he can stay away from injuries,
yep,
he got a chance to go down as one of the best ones.
Well, he really solidified that lineup too. They had some talent, different positions, different spots in the order, but once he kind of got a home at third base there, middle of the order, that's when they really began winning.
Runners at the corners, 1 out, and a 1-1 pitch. It's a chop foul, so advantage of his breaking ball goes to Chris. Kane's got his wheels turning right now because of that changeup. And it's got to be either slow low or hard high. So let's see which one they want.
We talked about how effective Jose Quintana was yesterday. Peavy the day before, always getting to that 1-2 count and giving themselves lots of choices.
And that's a fair ball. So Hosmer's going to score on the double. Butler in the third, and it's 1-0. Kansas City.
Well, you knew sooner or later, leadoff hitters getting on. One of them's going to come across, and again, Chris did not hit his spot. Josh setting up outside, came back in, and again, inches. Talk about this game being a game of inches. That might have been 3 inches fair.
18th double for Kane, and here's David Lowe's had a couple of strikeouts in his 2 at-bats. Infield comes in, outfield. Swings around to the left. First pitch strike. That one at 95.
On the middle infielders, not quite on the grass, knowing that Billy Butler is not that fleet of foot. Allows them a little bit more range left or right and still being able to come up and get him out at the plate if he's going.
Breaking ball, sweeper.
As you look, the run expectancy with runners on second and third, 1 out for Kansas City this year, 59%. And unfortunately, our Sox this year have given up 74%, where the league average is about 70.
0-2. Ate him up. Looks him back. Goes to first. 2 down.
Big pitch by Chris Sale there. Big out.
That'll bring up Tejada. So you got Escobar on deck. Chris is not going to walk anybody, so pitcher's preference. With men on second, third, 2 out, first base open. Starts him off with a changeup.
And that is a sign of a great pitcher having confidence in multiple pitches.
Comes back with that 93-mile-an-hour fastball. And here's the young man right there. Jose Quintana is just getting better and better and better. He went 7 innings last night, giving up just 2 runs, 6 hits, 1 walk, and 5 strikeouts. He took the loss, but he is getting better and better.
Deserved a better fate. 13 no decisions this year, leading all of Major League Baseball.
He gone. If they break the ice, they get on the board. We'll go to the bottom 6, trailing 1-0.
Up deserved a better outcome for his performance last night. 7 innings, 2 earned runs, only 1 walk, 5 Ks, and on the season, 3-3 with a 3.49 ERA and 11 starts at home. Our Xfinity Home player brought to you by Xfinity Home. Get peace of mind with Xfinity Home, the total home security and home control solutions that keep you more connected to what matters most.
Top of the order, Diaza will lead it off here in the bottom of the 6th. Wade Davis, who's really struggled this year, coming in at 4-9 with almost a 6 ERA, and he has given up no runs on 1 hit. We've done that to a few guys who are struggling.
Right
1-1
in the corner there. Absolutely right. I think that's probably been the most frustrating part, not only for the players, for the coaches. You know, the folks watching at home, you get to a pitcher that, for all intents and purposes, looks like you should be beating him handily, and
there's a good start.
Great start. Only the 2nd hit of the game for the White Sox. Only the first time. Piazza doing a good job, low strike, keeping his hands inside the ball, using the whole field. Good line drive to left, and finally lead off single. Let's see if we can make something happen here, Hawk.
Here's Alexei. Strikeout and a walk. First and 30, Alexi. Pops him up. Escobar. One out. And that'll bring up Rios.
You see that pitch count for Wade. We're making it a little too easy. That second inning, last inning, 5 and 8 pitches. All this does is allow a starter to extend himself 1 or 2 more innings. If Kansas City has a lead, you get into the short pen and their better arms rather than getting them out earlier in the game.
Alex a single and stolen base in the first inning. He went out to his counterpart, David Lowe, in the third. Tigers at home against Philadelphia. Detroit scored 5 in the first, 3 in the second. They lead at 8-0. Cabrera, 2-run homer. He now has 98 RBIs. Could go along with 32 homers. Tuiasa Sopo is another one. A 3-run shot. Looks at strike 1. Right there.
A slide step by Wade Davis. Most of the time he has been bringing that knee up, even with his belt. 2 things that can do. 1, it keeps your base runner on first. And 2, sometimes it messes with the timing of the hitter. Does it again, but that one right on the outside corner. That's awfully hard to do anything with that unless you're going down the right field line. It's a little bit out in front of that.
Yeah, he's been scuffling a little bit lately. You know you're scuffling, you take the wheelhouse and swing at a pitcher's pitch. The 0-2. Atlanta beat St. Louis 2-0 down in Georgia. Nats beat the Mets 4-1. Oakland over the Angels 3-1 at the Coliseum. That evens the count at 2.
Good take by Alex. Only one time was I on a team that was out of it early, where there could have been trades, and actually I was one of them that came over here to Chicago in '91. Were you ever part of a team like that, Hawk?
No.
Where there was a lot of swirling rumors going through the clubhouse?
He gets him. 2 down. No, I was traded, but early.
And what was that like? What were the emotions? Did you know about it beforehand, or did just manager walk up to you and say, "Come on to the office, gotta tell you something"?
I picked up the paper one morning. It was a Saturday morning. Picked up the paper. Saw where Indians were going to make a trade for one of the Red Sox power hitters. They mentioned Yastrzemski, myself, and Scott. And I knew it wasn't going to be yes. So I called Dick O'Connell, the general manager. I said, "What is this?" He goes, "Hawk, your name has not even come up. Don't worry about it." He had 2 home runs in that game. And the second one, I'll never forget. I'm going around first base, and I'm saying to myself, "Well, that'll put an end to that stuff." I go home that night. Phone rings. I don't know, at 7 o'clock. Alvin Dark was on the line. He says, "Kenneth, come on over. I just traded for you." There's the ball, and the count 1-1.
Good take by Adam. I remember the same thing. Cleveland '91. Team was not going anywhere, and they had the inside track on another center fielder. You may have heard of Kenny Lofton. So I think Mike Huff was a little bit expendable, and phone was ringing with the message.
A little chopper out in front of the mound. Could be trouble. No. Yeah, it is. Threw it away. So, Hank. Alejandro moves into third.
But I'll tell you what, a great job by Adam Dunn here. Not so much on the power of the swing or the distance, but watch how he gets down the line and then is right on the line. Wasn't inside the baseline, so home plate umpire couldn't call obstruction of justice here. Couldn't call anything. And for Hosmer, seeing Adam Dunn coming down at you, yeah, I'd probably be short-arming it as well.
So it'll be an error on Perez. And it could be, because of that situation, a hit and an error. But with 2 out, runners at the corners. And here's Paulie. Paulie has popped up the center. He's 0 for 2. That ball hit hard. Kane slipped a little bit, and makes the catch. He recovers. Mercy. What a play by Lorenzo Kane. He has made 3 outstanding plays in the first 2 games. He slipped and still went back and made it. Wow.
First step slips, takes a great route. Speed can make up for a lot of things, and that's not the first, not the second, probably the third or fourth great catch he's made against us this series.
I'll tell you what, that's one of the best recoveries. That ball was absolutely scalded by Konerko, and that is one of the best recoveries that you ever want to see. It is still a 1-0 Kansas City lead. And that saved 2 runs. He saved at least 2 last night and possibly 3 or 4. As that is back through the middle. So Escobar leads it off. That is 4 straight innings. The leadoff man has reached on a hit.
Well, and for Chris Sale, he's got to be wondering, what is it about this team? Chris gets sacrifice bunt in the 5th. Ground out back to Chris in the 3rd. I'm guessing he's bunting again. There it is. Gets it down on the first base side, just what you want. Try to bring that first baseman in. Getting the run over to second. One of the lost arts in baseballs these days, Hawk. Laying down a sac bunt or a bunt for hit. Rolls the lineup over. Leadoff hitter, Alex Gordon. One great running catch in deep center field just about. But 0 for 3 tonight.
Well, this is a good Kansas City club. It's a good outfield they have. Hosmer can pick it at first. Alcides can pick it. Moustakas can pick it at third. Getz is a solid second baseman.
Solid backstop in Perez.
Perez is good. This is a better team than their record.
Well, there were some big expectations for them this year.
Big sweeping breaking ball.
Especially after getting Shields. I mean, that trade demonstrated to everybody in the Kansas City area and the league, hey, we want to be more than just.
And Davis.
Oh, that's right. And Davis. More than just a developing ground for other teams. We want to be in the playoffs. And unfortunately for them, hasn't happened.
Can't get that one in the count 0-2. Well, David Glass, the owner of the ball club, wants in the worst way to bring a winner to Kansas City. And he's on his way. The nucleus is right here. And it wouldn't surprise me if they can get an offense going. It wouldn't surprise me if they made a run at this thing at all. This is a very competitive ball club. You know, they'll get to 500 and then lose 4 or 5. Get to 500 and lose 4 or 5. So it's going to have to be left up to the offense because the pitching, the bullpen is all there. The defense, that pitch is fouled back.
As you look at the AL Central standings, just as Hawks say, Kansas City can't quite get over 500. Terry Francona doing a masterful job in Cleveland. And Detroit this year playing the way I think everybody expected them last year. That took them to the World Series.
They're still vulnerable. But that bullpen, they're still vulnerable. If they shore it up, then they should win this division because they have probably the best 5 starters in Major League Baseball.
Probably the most solid middle of the order, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Well, when you're talking about 3, 4, and 5, Cabrera, Fielder, and Martinez. I don't know of any other 3, 4, 5 better than those 3 guys in this league. I don't know about the National League because that's out number 2. And we have a message here that Major League Baseball Advanced Media has closed the ultimate auction bidding. I want to thank all those who participated. So
exciting stuff. Some great prizes. Hosmer 2 for 3 today. Chris doing a good job of getting ahead right there. It's a big out for Chris. 95th pitch coming up. Hosmer and Butler, 2 guys are giving him the most trouble.
Oh and 1, 2 out. Escobar, who was 12 for 12 in stolen bases. That's that. Yes, he did. He could not check it up. And the count 0-2.
Well, as Hosmer starts this swing, that right hip started coming out. One of Chris's sweeping sliders. Don't blame lefties for wanting to flinch on that. Unable to hold up. And 0-2 right here. Chris has plenty of time, plenty of ways. Just needs to make one more good pitch.
Bounce that back, and the man you're listening to is Mike Huff, former White Sox outfielder, sitting in for my partner Steve Stone, who has missed 3 games in a row now because of a bad boiler. And hopefully he'll be back tomorrow with the medicine kicking in. There he goes. He gone. He knew it. 7th inning stretch. We trail it 1-0.
Final. Oakland over the Angels and Minnesota over Seattle. Miller Lite is proud to sponsor tonight's scores and schedule in Major League Baseball. Boston leading Baltimore over the National League. Good game going in Miami. Very good game going in Arizona. And how about them Dodgers? Was it right around when Puig came up that they started winning?
It was then. Well, they were underachieving club anyway. They had some injuries, but they still were not playing 2 because of those injuries, their capabilities. That ball hit hard in center field. Okay, I don't know if he can get this one. Look at this man. He is just doing it all. I think the last time we saw an exhibition like this was by Aaron Rowan in Yankee Stadium. Look where he's playing, and look where he's got to get to. That ball was scalded by Keppinger.
Great job of taking one last glance. Great job in the outfield. Finding the ball, finding your track. And hitting the wall with his full body, hopefully absorbing some of it. I'll tell you right now, Wade Davis, he owes him a couple steaks.
At least. That catch he made off Konerko to end last inning with 2 on, saved 2 runs. Man. And here's Viciedo. Tank is grounded to second and going out deep to left center.
Coupled with the fact that he's got the lone RBI tonight.
Well, he's got a chance to be our player of the game. Lorenzo King. There's just a muscle base hit. Oh boy. So now that play looms even larger.
Our White Sox blog Check out the White Sox baseball blog at WGNTV.com, sponsored by Jeff Vukovich, your local nationwide insurance agent serving the area for over 34 years. To join the nation, visit jeffvuk.com. Nationwide is definitely on your side.
All right, Gordon, come on. First and 30. Gordon twice has gone out to Kane in this game. And last night he went out to Kane twice. Once on a brilliant catch by Lorenzo, and then a real good catch by Lorenzo.
It's amazing how now, the way he's running these balls down.
Well, you're a good outfielder. You were a good outfielder. You know yourself. You get in certain games and you have the opportunity to make some great catches, and you make them. It's just that simple. You can't make a great catch unless you have the opportunity.
Well, and it's something that certain outfielders, you can tell, take pride in their trade.
One of the best jobs I've ever seen. Cody running for Tank was in Cleveland. We were chasing the Indians. They were a couple of games in front of us. We went in there for a big 4-game set. Kane Lofton absolutely dominated that 4-game series with his glove in center field. He should have won. He should have been in that year. He should have been the MVP in the American League. And that ball hit deep in the center field, but that's going to be, for him, just a can of corn.
Only just in front of the warning track. Actually was able to get underneath that one, like you said, can of corn. Lorenzo's still looking like he's feeling the after effects of running into that wall. That wall has a good pad on it.
So here's Fegley. That's where he hit it.
Imprint of a body.
Bo Jackson playing in Kansas City left a semicircle on the wall.
Spike marks on 5 or 6 panels. Good take right there by Josh. 0 for 2 today. Strikeout and ground out. Josh, a couple home runs since getting that call up. Definitely has the power to put a couple tallies on the board.
Decent lead by Cody. Yanks that one foul. So the count 1-1. Masterson still shutting out Texas. 1-0 over Yu Darvish. Bo Porter and his Astros outmanned, outgunned, and all they do is just play hard. They beat Toronto 8-6. Those guys have been in some really tough ball games all season long with not a whole bunch of guns out there. There he goes from the knees. Got him. Beautiful peg by Perez. One of the stronger arms in the American League. And that'll do it.
Oh my God. That's a nice tag right there, baby.
1. Our White Sox 0-3-0. You see what Davis has done. Chris having another great game, but Lorenzo Cain, big RBI double in the 6th and a lot of catches. Honda, your Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana Honda dealers, as reliable as the cars themselves.
Billy Butler has walked, had a hard single to center and a bullet single to right as Dakota in the center field. The Oz moves to left. 1-0. A little quick on that one towards the end of the bat.
And finally broke up a string of 4 innings in a row with a leadoff single.
And a big White Sox shout out to Glenn Brown from Viola, Illinois. And Glenn is 105 years old.
Oh my gosh. Sporting a handsome chapeau.
Glenn, you're awesome.
That is incredible.
You're awesome.
Perez, ground ball up the middle. Ramirez doing a nice job, again, knowing the speed of the runner, making sure of it. Good throw to first. Perez, previous at bat, hit one pretty good to center as well. Now 0 for 4. And bringing up the man of the game, Lorenzo Cain. 1 for 3, the only RBI tonight. Multiple catches in center field and a couple of game saving, RBI saving at least. Chris starting off just a little bit low. Big sweeper misses inside.
Chris Sale's having some luck like a former Sox right-hander had, Chris being left-handed, of course. Joe Horland. Joe Horland led the league in ERA back in '67 with a 2.06. He had a good record that year. That's when they were running for the pennant. That is popped up. Adams got some room. And that'll retire the side. We'll go to the bottom of the 8th. We trail it 1-0. Well, at 1-0, as you see, as you check out our WGN Sports Tale of the Tape. And evidently, Lorenzo Cain, when he hit that center field wall, he hit it hard. It's out of there. Jared Dyson moves in there, and Mike Moustakas moves into third base for Miguel Tejada. So here's Fagley. Strikeout. And hit into a 5-6-3 putout off the. Tejada did a real good job to keep it in the infield and carry him over to Escobar, who gunned him out at first. Two and one. But getting back to Joe Horland and Chris Sale, very, very similar what they're doing. They're pitching their arses off and getting no help as that's out of play. Horland, 1966 for the White Sox, was 10-13 with a 2.43 ERA.
10-13.
65, he had a 2.88 ERA. In 1968, he was 12-14 with a 2.37 ERA. That ball hit into left field. One out.
Well, I remember when I first came up with the Dodgers in '89, Hershiser under 500, I believe, that year, and I think in 15 of his starts the Dodgers got shut out in 5, scored 1 run in 5, and scored 2 runs in 5 others.
Yeah, some guys got to wear it.
I think it was the year before '88 was when he pitched the 56 innings without giving up a run.
Broke Don Drysdale's record. There's the bunt. That would have been a base hit if it stayed fair, but it didn't. So it's strike one.
Well, and that's exactly what you want to do when you're bunting for hits. You want to try to put it right down the line, especially early in the count, where if it's fair, it's a base hit, and if it's off, you don't want to be toward the pitcher side. You don't want to be too hard. You want it to be foul, so you still have 2 more strikes to do something with the bat.
And also big shout out to 3 Men in Kilts for another tremendous job on our national anthem. I love those guys.
Another one of the great things about the ballpark when you come here with your family or friends, Coach Boyer, the staff, making sure there's some entertainment outside the ballpark. And I've heard those guys out there before they sing the national anthem. They are really good.
Yeah. 1-2 the count. Activity down in the double-barreled activity. Royal pin. That's out of play left side. Or as I mentioned, make your plans to be with us here at the ballpark. Santiago. Hector Santiago against Cy Chin. Bruce Chin. And after the game, we leave. We go to Cleveland for 4, Detroit for 3. And then we come back August 5th with 3 against the Yankees, 3 with Minnesota, and 3 with the Tigers. And Lorenzo Cain, left groin tightness, precautionary measure, and as much running as he's been doing out there, as much leather as he's been throwing, something had to be getting a little tired.
Be it a hamstring, a quad.
So far, he's saved 2 games for these guys.
Yes, he has.
With that glove. Plus, he's knocked in the 1 run today. That's out of play.
Well, Dyson, not too much of a slouch running balls down either. Great little base runner.
Well, he's going to have to show me he can top Lorenzo. he's going to have to. He can run. Cain has just had some tremendous jumps. Good play by Getz. Can't quite control it, so that'll be a base hit.
Great effort by the former Sox, Chris Getz. And with that, here comes manager Ned Yost.
Well, as struggling as he has been, Wade Davis, if you'd have told Yost He's going to give you 7 1/3 scoreless innings. Would you take it? There's the answer. So, Wade Davis, who maybe his best game of the year today, healed apart, and we'll be back.
You can see only 9 games this year, 10 innings pitched, 11 strikeouts, a 0.00 ERA, and a 1-0 record.
He's 27 years old, 6'4", 205 pounds, out of Slater, Mississippi, born in Greenwood. Well, like I say, he's faced him 5 times, and he is 0 for 5. Breaking ball, the 1 away. 1-0 the count. Last year, 42 appearances, 3.71 ERA. Struck out 65 in 51 innings. Another breaking ball, blueprint, and the count 2-0. Don't help him out.
Yeah, good job by Ramirez laying off those. Luckily, those did not even come close to the strike zone, so a little bit easier not swinging at that. This is an awkward motion, tough release point. So for right-handed batters, you really got to bear in there, keep that front shoulder in.
Made a good pass at it, fouls it back.
Outfield swinging way to right field. Probably both because of Coleman pitching now, and maybe the setup where Perez is going to be calling them. Big gap in left center.
2-1. There's a hanger. You're going to get a lot of hangers from guys. Yep. Drop down.
Important thing is keeping that same short stride and keeping that front shoulder, front hip in. So you guys drop down, it's pretty easy for a righty to start to flinch and twitch. You can stay in there. You're going to be able to hit that ball hard.
Rack them up. So we get a 1-out single, double play, another double play, and we're into the 9th. Top of the ninth inning, 1-7-1 for them, 0-4-0 for us. This is the 106th pitch. Thrown by Chris Sale. David Lowe is 0 for 3. A couple strikeouts and a little tapper back to Sale.
I tell you what, having a night like that, you get a 76-mile-an-hour curveball, you got to throw your body in front of it.
1-1 to count. Also, a reminder, as part of this year's civil rights game activities, great Bo Jackson and Aretha Franklin will receive Major League Baseball Beacon Awards. Now, that game will be Saturday, August 24th, when our Sox take on the Rangers right here. So for more information on purchasing tickets, visit whitesox.com/civil rights game. That's Saturday, August 24th. Sox against the Rangers, and Bo Jackson and Aretha Franklin will receive Major League Baseball's Beacon Awards.
That would be a great night. Seeing those two, oh my goodness.
Yes, he did. He gone.
Strikeout number 6 for Chris Sale on pitch 109. Hey, Jones still warming up in the bullpen. And Mike Moustakas, who came in last inning before, to defensively at third base with the 1-0 lead, coming up for his first at bat against Chris.
Curveball strike.
And wanting no part of that. So this year, a little bit of a down year for Moustakas.
Well, the talent is there. So what does that leave?
Between the ears.
Between the ears. Exactly right. I got a feeling that he will probably figure it out. He's just 24 years old.
A lot of young pups on this team, aren't there?
A lot of young talent.
Yep.
It's tough. He's not going to figure it out against Chris Sale, though. He'll figure it out against some other guys.
Chris, 1, 2, 3. And again, this is an outstanding pitch. It starts in the zone. And for a lefty coming in, first at bat against a lefty, there's very little chance of success on that one. You see now Kansas City's closer Greg Holland warming up.
Be interesting to see what Pedro Grifol, what his philosophy is going to be. The new hitting coach. George Brett resigned a couple days ago. Dennis Menace, my all-time favorite player. It'll be interesting to see what he brings to the table.
Pretty impressive. 94 miles an hour on 114th pitch. We talked about the horses, the better pitchers, how they get stronger as the game goes on, huh?
Off the end of the bat. Backhanded. The throw. Nice play. The 1-2-3 ninth. He retired the last 9 that he saw. But if we don't get a run, he's going to lose it 1-0. Portion of Charities Week with a Volunteer Corps Service Day presented by First Merit Bank. White Sox players Blake Ducote and Ramon Troncoso, along with members of the White Sox Volunteer Corps and employees from First Merit Bank, joined together to transform Fulton Elementary School on Chicago's South Side. Members of the Volunteer Corps painted, created murals, and performed landscaping work and light construction to renovate and beautify the elementary school. The community visit was the fourth and final outreach event held during Charities Week 2013. So to learn more about Volunteer Corps and how to get involved, visit whitesox.com/volunteer corps. Pitching change, the closer coming in, Greg Holland, trying to pick up his 26th save and nail it down for Wade Davis. As we got the right guys at the right spot, hopefully at the right time. Rios, Dunn, Canerco. We trail it 1-0. 26,172. And there is a base hit. Yes, good speed aboard. He has a stolen base in this game, and he has 22 for the season.
Well, this at bat is exactly what you want to do against a pitcher like Holland. If he's going to be painting the outside corner, take it that way. Let those hands work. Finds the hole. Just gets good effort. But as you said, man who's leading the team in stolen bases, on first with no outs, and the man at the plate who can win this game with one swing of the bat.
He is 2 for 8 against Holland. Adam today 1 for 2 with a walk. And then check that, 1 for 2. Right here, big man.
All right, now what you're looking for. Yeah, scorekeeper's a little unkind, a little full swing. Dribbler down the first base line was called E2, but struck out first at bat. Good at bat second time around, got a walk. And reached base in the third at bat.
They got the shift on. Out in front on an off-speed pitch. Holland now only 5'10", but he can rush it up there. He can hit the 100-mile-an-hour mark.
Well, and 62 strikeouts with only 11 walks in 38 innings pitched. That is impressive.
Just off the corner.
Good take by Adam there. As you see in the Xfinity pitch track, ball clearly off the plate. Perez framed it nicely, but plate umpire Manny Gonzalez was not fooled.
Alex just a short lead over there. So the full count. Ball 4 base hit right here.
And another good take by Adam Dunn. And with his power and Holland throwing as hard as he does, all he's got to do is barrel one up and walk out of here with 2-1 victory.
Huge gap out there nicely. There you go. Ball 4. First 2 men aboard.
Alex running on the pitch. No throw. Captain Paul Canerco coming up with guys on first and second.
Paulie has faced Holland 10 times, has 4 hits. Paulie 0 for 3 in this game. He was robbed of extra bases and 2 RBIs on a spectacular catch by Lorenzo Cain. 1 of 4 he's made in this series. Takes ball 1.
Crowd here at US Cellular getting a little excited. People on their feet. Looking for these Sox to come from behind. Chris Sale pitching a gem tonight.
1-1 to count.
On the black. That is going to be a tough one to hit.
And that's off. Big pitch right there.
Yep,
Advantage goes to Pauly. 2 balls and a strike.
Right man, right spot, as you said. 4 for 10. Greg Holland. I think it's 5 for 11 right here.
With a good pass. And the count evens at 2.
And a little frustrated with himself. He knew it. That was the one. That was one that he could drive. Adam done at first, Alex at second. Perez.
A little meeting of the minds here.
Probably wanting to make sure again. What's the indicator? Big situation. Let's not make any mistakes here. Getting himself ready. Realizing Greg Holland was pretty ready to pitch. Quick pitch. Stepping out of the box.
Right here, Paulie. Full count. And a big pitch coming up. A huge pitch coming up.
So if you're Robin Ventura, do you have them running, or do you let them just probably focus on the pitch? Especially with Rios knowing you're going to score on a single.
Rios is going to score.
That's how I know I couldn't be a manager. I could not be that calm in situations like this.
And the payoff. Chopper. They cannot turn it. Tell you what. Adam goes in and makes sure that he can do everything he can to make sure that Chris Getz cannot turn it. Getz is a gutsy little second baseman. He will take a hit.
Escobar with a good feed and done with a good slide, going right over the base. Nothing wrong with that. Spikes were down. As you said, Chris gave it everything he had. With Adam doing his job.
So now pinch runner Casper Wells comes out to run for Canerco. 1 out, runners at the corners. That's one thing about second baseman and shortstops that you can't put a number on. The guys that will stand in there, take a hit when they know they're going to get leveled. And Chris, Gordon Beckham, one of the best I've ever seen at that was Bobby Grich. Go in there, and I'll tell you what. Davey Johnson was another one. He would take the hit. Manager of the Washington Nationals. You see how Chris, he knows he's going to get punished right there by Adam. So here's Cappinger.
Jeff, another one of the Lorenzo Cain victims in these first 2 games. Last at bat, put it to the fence, 2 over from dead center.
That's low. So Wells at first. Rios at third. Good speed aboard. But you got a man behind that plate right there. You got to be careful at first. He will pick you off. And from the time that ball hits his mitt to the time he can get it to second base is just about as fast as any catcher in the American League. There's a shot. Low comes on, makes the catch. Makes the catch, and Rios is still at third. What a play. This is a tremendous exhibition of outfield defense in the last two ball games.
Well, Keppinger does a great job of hitting here. Down in the zone, something he can get out of the infield. Great swing and low, fully stretched out, right in front of him, and doesn't even think about anything but getting up. Rios
Alex
froze.
made the mistake right there.
He sure did.
You got to go back and tag up on the play.
There's no reason for anything but going back. If that ball falls in front of him, you're going to be able to score. And if he dives and catches, you're tagging up. Again, you're going to be able to score. Now you're putting a lot of pressure on Connor Gillespie. Pinch hitting here for Blake Ducote. And a good take on that first one. Yep, just off the plate. Connor last night, the only RBI, only run scored against Shield. Solo home run into the bullpen sports bar.
Late call. And the count 1-1. Yep, that is a play that you, as soon as that ball gets in the air, you've got to go back, tag at third. And it didn't happen. Two out, 1-2 the count.
Connor has seen Holland's best curveball. He's seen his best fastball. Time to square one up here.
This ball game is over. All right, another game that we absolutely. Chris Sale was brilliant. A couple of mistakes, and we lose it 1-0, and we'll be back.